to towards Turnpike Gardens.
Valerie Circle to Abrams Creek.
Yeah, the whole way.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I like how it puts Bruce on the big screen, but he hasn't said a word.
I don't get paid to do that.
Okay.
All right, everybody's here. Are we ready to get started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody's logged in, right?
Yeah, let me do a roll call so I make sure everyone we can hear. Paul Clary,
Here.
Bruce Dice,
Here.
Betsy Desmond.
I,
Can you hear me, Betsy?
what did I didn't hear you. No. What did you say?
Are you
Is
here?
my name here?
Dave
There.
McGill.
Hold on. He sat down now. Go ahead.
Dave McGill.
Here.
Scott Belts.
Here.
Linda Gatos.
Here.
Dave Kirshner.
Here.
Gary DiLorenzo.
Here.
Sherry Harris.
Here.
And Jim Hunter. Jim Hunter.
Here.
All right.
Here. Are we going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
No, we're not doing any of that.
We aren't doing any of
Go
that?
right to the minutes.
Hold on. Oh, okay, I was on mute. Yeah, we're going to skip the pledge and all that and go straight to the minutes for February. Did we do it? Yes, I got them. Can we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Approve. All right, Tom made the motion. Did we have a second?
I'll second it. This is Gary. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Didn't have any March minutes.
Hey, everyone's got to mute when they're not talking. Otherwise, you guys can't hear each other.
Okay, we didn't have any March minutes, so we're going to go to bills and payroll. We've got to do a month by month, so we're going to start with bills and payroll from February. Does anybody have comments about the bill from February?
Paul's now real bad.
Yeah, I need to abstain on one bill, and it's the number 058884, $300, so I'll abstain from that one. It was wrote out on 3/19 of 2020.
Okay, that's on the second. That's
That's the second one.
second one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the second one.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. February, I have the question on the MMO. What percentage did we pay that at? That $526,853.
That's at the 20% that was approved in the November meeting.
Okay.
That's the 16% plus the 4% that we played catch up for the 20 years that we did not put in the required amount of the pension plan, not of the MMO. The pension plan requires 16%.
Any other questions? Comments?
Jimmy, can you explain that?
Okay. Okay, the MMO is the minimal municipal obligation required by law, Act 205. Every year in November, we get from our auditor, our pension auditor, our minimal obligation. And it averages, I think last year, it changes, but last year was around 15.93% of the payroll. Now back from 1998 until 2015, our actual pension documents, not the state documents, our pension documents state we must put in 16%. And for years, it was the actual MMO was lower than 15.93. It was under 14%. And so we weren't putting enough in. We were putting enough in for the state's requirements, but our pension documents require 16%. So we were probably about 40% short for those years. So we made the conscious decision in 2015 that let's bring it up to where it should have been, according to the.
Wait, what's the pension?
The pension.
What's the plan document? What percent?
The 16%.
And what was it from 98 to 215? I thought you said it was only 14.
It was 14. Not the
Okay,
plan
so you were
documents.
putting
No, not the plan document. The state was requiring us 14. We were underfunding what our pension plan said.
Okay, so the state said 14. You guys were putting 16 in.
We weren't putting 16 in. We were putting
How
the
much were you putting in?
14.
14.
Correct. But that was not what our pension plan requires 16%, not the state. Our document that we give to the employees and that was created by the board when the pension plan was approved is 16%. Does that make sense?
Are we? So if we're paying 16%,
We're required now, the MMO has changed and it's up to, this year it came in at 15.9 something percent. And a lot of, okay, and we put in 20%. That's what we approved at the November board meeting. And then this should have been just about the last year that we really have to kick in extra. But for future reference, Dunbar, Zeph, downgraded our 7% return on our pension to 6.5%. So the minimum obligation for the state for next year is going to go to $717,000. Just so everybody's aware of that. So we are not going to have, we're pretty much done with trying to make up for what we are under contributing. And now they take our average over the last 4 or 5 years of what our returns were, and they thought 7% was out of line. They wanted to go to 6%, and I said, no, we can't afford that. That would put our obligation next year at probably $900,000 plus. I said 6.5 I can live with if you can, and they said yes. So it'll be $717,000 next year.
so this year was 546, next year will be 717.
Next year will be 717, and depending on what the market does the year after that, it could change again. It's all based on ages of employees, how close they are to retirement, and next year it could change to 6, and the obligation will go up over, I would bet, to 900 plus, maybe even $1 million.
How come it doesn't lower if it's funded so well?
It's
You know, I mean, if you're underfunded at 60, 70, whatever percent, why wouldn't it be, higher then trying to meet your obligation?
well, you got to understand also what's happened is this year the state has changed the life expectancy of everybody by 3 years. They've added 3 more years on. Well, that's huge.
Before COVID or after?
Yeah, before COVID, they added 3 years on. This is all prior to the COVID. So they added 3 years to the expectancy. So it's going to go up again after this. Next year, 717, and I can guarantee it'll go up again after that.
Yet it's still funded to 90-some%.
No, after this last one, we're done probably around 88, 87% after the market drop.
Can I jump in for a second? This is Tom. From the period, for the period January 1 through 3/31, our pension fund value, based on what the market did, actually dropped by 10%, or $1.6 million. Just to put that in perspective.
Tom,
Yes.
if you check that today, because I just was speaking with my investor today. If you checked again today, that number would be completely different because the markets have gone a lot off in the last 2 to 3 weeks.
It would have gone up, Linda, but we get a monthly report, and this was a report for the quarter.
I know, because I got mine as well. I'm just saying, and I spoke with them today, because I don't want everyone thinking or being afraid that it dropped so much.
No, but I'm saying if it would, I don't think it would stay down that low, but whatever shortfall there is will have an impact on what our future obligations are.
Oh, no question. As far as our own households as well. Okay.
That's all I'm trying to say. Yep.
Clarifying.
Does that
Who's
answer?
running a vacuum or is it at an airport?
I think someone has a radio on in the background. Does somebody have a radio or TV on in the background?
Somebody has a TV on, a radio, something.
Not me.
Oh, it's gone.
Okay. Yes, not me.
Okay.
Okay, does that answer the question on the pension?
Yeah.
Was that you, Betsy, that asked that?
No, I was saying something to my husband. Just, he was walking.
Oh, no, I just can't remember who asked the pension question.
Jimmy, I asked you to explain it to everybody, and that may be what you're thinking.
Oh, okay, that's what, all right, I didn't know who it was.
We still need a person.
I forget that you can't see us shaking our head yet.
I forgot about that too.
All right,
Yeah.
So we need a first and a second.
Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
For February.
I'll second.
Who seconded?
So that was a motion by Scott, a second by Tom. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
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 How about Betsy?
Unmute. Tom, unmute. You can say aye.
I did say aye.
Oh.
We're just waiting on Betsy, I think.
Aye.
Okay, I think that's it.
Is that everybody?
That was the February
Bills and payroll.
bills and payroll. So now we're on to March.
What paper is that?
All right. Dave. McGill. McGill, do you want to talk about the March thing?
Yeah, I'll abstain from 058884 for $311 on 3/19/2020. That's the only one I'll abstain from.
Before somebody makes a motion, I have one question.
What is it? Oh, wait.
Go ahead, Tom.
Okay.
Okay, I have one quick, I mean, it's a comment, it's not really a question. I don't know whose idea it was to make notes on the bills for what I'll call unusual items. The one that says their camera for dye test. Those are good for, at least for me, from a board standpoint, when there's unusual items for those notes. This is the first time I remember seeing those on both last month's and this month's bills. I find that to be very helpful.
Yeah,
I do too, actually.
I started putting them on unusual items. When you hit over 5,000, Tom, for Haynes Supply, I figure I better try to let you know exactly what that is.
Great. Just if we can kind of do that on a go-forward basis, that'd be great.
Yeah, no problem.
I have two questions too, and these are just for information. What does MAWC mean?
Municipal Authority of Westmoreland County.
Oh! Okay, makes sense. And what is jobbing?
Jobbing is when we sell material that we have purchased through operating. So if I bought a truckload of pipe and I sell it to Maple Crest developers to install, that's jobbing. It would come in as the purchase. It would be most likely from pipelines, and then the jobbing sale would have been to Thomas, but we probably just listed as jobbing.
Okay, so jobbing is we have the material, we sell it to somebody, and they do the work.
That's correct. But that's not on this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm February. Sorry. All right.
Any of it accept?
Yeah, we need a first and second.
I'll motion it. I motioned the first one, but I'll do the second one too.
Way to step up.
I'll second that, Scott.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Do you have anything for communications?
No, not really, except that just a quick update. Business as usual. The guys are still working. 90% of them mostly single. The other ones that are not are keeping their social distance. We did give out some masks today for work. We have masks on order. They've been ordered for a while. They're telling us the middle of May, but we most likely obtained for Tuesday, so they tell us 200 on Tuesday. We'll see if that comes through. The Perel's been on order for 6 weeks. We haven't got that yet, but we do have a supply here. We do still have all the cleaning supplies, but the guys are they're doing good. We had a meeting last Friday. We changed some starting times again, some staggered times because we were getting too many people at 7 o'clock. So we adjusted it. So we have 5, 5, and 5 again, 6, 6:30, and 7. But that seems to be working out pretty well. So any questions on that? That's actually it for.
Actually, just a comment. If they actually have a line, do you guys, and I don't know this, do you have to wear special masks? Do you have to wear the N95s or?
No.
Because I have a line on some masks. If you get into a bind, I might be able to get you a case at $1,600.
Yeah, we are not required for the N95s right now. The guys that are running the sewer jets on the backups do have a few of the M95s, but yeah, I'll let you know. He obtained from, I think it was Northeast, I can't remember the name of it now, but he talked to the gentleman today and he said he would have them 200 by Monday or Tuesday. I did pass that information on to a couple other water authorities that were struggling to get them, and they did order some too. So I think we're good until then, but if not, Paul, that'd be great. We'll let you know.
All right, and I could also, it's actually a local vendor, Erzin. They're right near the big Hindu temple. Because I just bought masks off of them, and it's not Purell, but it's a spray bottle hand sanitizer that they have in stock.
All right, can you email me their contact?
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd work.
Cool.
We're not going to do operation reports, Paul.
Right.
Hey, can I interject real quick, Jim?
Yeah.
Is there a point, I don't recall, where we just talked about the safety units?
I'm sorry, the safety what?
some safety meeting minutes. Now a good time to ask a question about that, or should I kind of wait till some?
You could do that. Let me see. I got to see where they're at in here. That's fine. We'll call that a communications.
Well, the only thing I was reading, and as far as the hand sanitizer goes, I mean, you don't have to be patient. I'm working on getting it through Sam's Club as well. The man will call me when they do get a shipment. So, you know, if I can get my fingers on some, absolutely, I'm going to try to get as much as I can.
Yeah, please do let us know. We have 2 orders out there, actually 3 orders for that, and some of them been in for 6 weeks, and it looks like the end of May. They keep pushing it back, I'm sure, as you know.
It's going to be a while.
But this isn't a short-term thing, so I'm not worried if we get overstocked on it, is what I'm trying to say.
I got some really perfumey stuff my wife gave me. I'm not a huge fan, but I carry it just in case. But the 105 temperature that I guess Hizzy was talking about, and I didn't look to see who was in here from the borough or from your guys tonight's meeting. But where does the 100.5 come from? Is that
the 100.4? The 100.4 is recommended by
CDC.
Yes. And Hizzy had it at 100.5 here, and that's the number that send them home, get them out of here,
Yeah, that works.
or don't come to work.
I mean, it's just as well.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you're keeping, you know, and I know that everyone's pretty wise to this by now, but as long as they're just seeing how they feel, because if you feel off at all, you know, I mean, there's a few different strains running around, but I know we're worried about one particular, but you know, the people that I've spoken to and the people in emergency services that have been quarantined thus far, you know, they're seeing temperatures as low as, you know, high 90s. And I know we're all at 98, you know, 6, but, you know, you're starting to see 99s, 99 somethings, you know, and people are still getting nervous with that. But it's also the, you know, feelings, you know, if people are feeling any symptoms whatsoever, just get away.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So, but I mean, I commend you guys. You guys have been, I have my own thing for later, but good job. That's it. Raising my hand do anything?
No, not really.
So we're
Man.
at, we should be at solicitor report.
No, it's not even a solicitor report.
Where am I at?
We're home, man.
Bruce, do you have anything?
Yeah, just, we got service on both companies on the bathhouse. The time period is running now. I don't know whether you've seen the letter, but the end result is if they don't comply or don't pay over the proceeds, we're going to shut the water off. But they get 45 days to do that. We're in that 40.
They're going to
I'm
shut
sorry?
the water off at the car wash?
I'm sorry?
Are they going to shut the water off? Did you say at the car wash?
At some point, yeah, if they don't comply, I don't know what the exact date is, but we're within the 45 days. We'll wish them to come back and say to us, okay, let's get this resolved.
Good.
So we're waiting for that. They have not contacted us. It's probably been 2 or 3 weeks. And, you know, I don't know whether they're going to call us or not, but I know we'll hear from them as soon as the water gets shut off. So that's
Is there a letter sent out?
Yeah, yes, both certified and regular mail, and we've got the green cards back on both
And
corporations.
Jimmy, you didn't include those in the packets? Because I can't find anything.
What, the letters?
Yeah.
No, we did not include in the packets because it really wasn't on the agenda. I'm looking at the regular meeting from March agenda, and Barb just informed me that Bruce wasn't on the agenda.
He's not on the agenda.
He's not on the original agenda.
For this, for tonight.
Correct.
He's not on it.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm in that. We're in that mode right now. Linda, I can get you the letters.
Okay, thank you.
That's it. I know we still are negotiating. We still have negotiations hanging out there. Other than the day-to-day operations, that's my report.
All right, now I got the real agenda. The annual material bids were taken, I think it was two Fridays going to third. I've glanced over them. Good news is the pricing on prior, now this is all prior, and those bids came in at perfect time for that. On all the valves and all the fittings went down approximately 2 to 3%. The bad news is the pipe went up substantially. Approximately, we use mostly 8-inch pipe. It went up $6 a foot. That's pretty huge. But that being said, last year, in order to get the bid, one of the customers bid very low. So we did reap that for 1 year. I was able to put an order in for 8-inch pipe under the old contract, so I did. Because I know that Maple Crest job is going to continue. So one good thing about that is our jobbing will go up, so we'll probably make a little bit more on that order. But I need approval to accept the bids so I can send them out for the contracts to be signed.
I approve.
My only question on the bid is, and it might be just a mere typo, is are we talking about page 3, like 58, 10, 58, 20, 30, 40?
Let me see.
The reason I ask is because it says 4 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet. It's all in a foot increment.
No, that's no. You would be on the third page at the very top, 5810, where it says 2489 core and main. That's the 8-inch pipe. They come in 20-foot lengths. It's $24.89 a foot. I think last year we were paying roughly $19.30.
Okay. Cool. That was all I had. I'll second.
Scott, second.
Everybody in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, second is summer employment. We only got 2 applications from 2 young men that were here last year, and we have 1 for the office. My opinion, unfortunately, is I don't know that we should bring anybody in at this time. I don't have the vehicles to put them out separately, and usually the summer help work together. So I'd have to try to put them in one. I don't know if I wouldn't recommend that. I won't do it with my regular employees. I sure don't want to do it with them. The summer girl would be in the office. We've you know, I'm a little concerned about bringing her in, and possibly the young kids aren't as diligent as us senior statesmen with this COVID, so I'm a little leery about bringing anybody in there. I'd say let's table that for another month, and I'll notify those 3 individuals. There was only 1 girl for the office, too. I mean, we could definitely use the help in the office, but I talked to Michelle, and I just don't think it's the right thing to do right now. So I want to
I'd like to make a motion to table that then.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'll second that.
So Paul had the motion, and who second?
Sherry.
Sherry. And we'll look at that the next meeting. Quarterly budgets were in your packets.
Don't we have to vote on it?
Oh yeah, vote. I'm sorry, vote on that.
Aye. In favor of tabling?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And the quarterly budgets were in the packets. The numbers all came out pretty good. Everything looks good. We're well within on the water, 1.17. It's tight, but we knew that going in. Once again, the sewage, the coverage is a little better. So I'd suggest everybody take a look at that, and we can review it at the next meeting. The numbers are what they are. If you have any questions, bring them to the next meeting for Michelle and I. unless you have any now.
I don't.
Then let's recommend everybody take a look at them. If there's any questions, next meeting. Yeah.
Jim, this is Gary. Just a quick comment on the quarterly budgets.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be premature on anything, but I wanted to just make an observation. On the financial side, the numbers look good. Our budget looks good. Everything looks reasonable. I know we have an agenda item that's coming down eventually. The contract negotiations. We don't have any content, no information on the impact of the budget and our finances related to that proposal. Just an observation to share with everyone.
All right.
If you catch me, we don't have any information to make a financial decision on that agenda item because there was nothing provided to us with a financial impact on that document.
No. No, I do not have anything.
Unless I missed it, and I just want to share with the group.
While we're raising questions, Jim, do we flatline budget quarter to quarter? I mean, obviously our water consumption is probably lower in the first quarter than it is in the second and third quarter. So when we budget, we're looking at it on a quarterly basis. Is it a flatline budget?
Yeah, it's we take the annual usage, Tom,
Divided by 4.
and divide it by 12.
Okay.
You know, for each month, and then we appropriate it that way. Just so you know, I was looking at the numbers today. With this going on, of course, your residential went up a little. In this last billing, it's up a few percentage points. The commercial is down roughly 50,000. I expected it's going to stay there. It might even get a little worse in the next month. Now,
Jimmy, what percentage would you say that is that the commercial buildings are down? You say $50,000?
it's down 50, and one of the main reasons is the actual dollar amount in the budget is around 50,000, but it's not a great rate yet. It's not great because you got to remember in February they were still pumping snow. That's one of our top 10 accounts. So
Okay.
there was 30,000 in there. It's not significant. I think a bigger impact is going to be on the. It's not significant yet, I should say, but the late fees is going to be a little more significant. It's going to run. We know what that is. It's pretty much 16 to 20,000 a month that we're going to forfeit. And I actually think it'll be a little higher as we go through there as they keep getting pushed back. So,
Well,
yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what you guys have seen as a loss of income for the water from the businesses. I know the residential's gone up.
Well,
So
this is the first month now. You know, April billing is from March 10th to April. I think it was 11th was the actual bill. It's right in there. It might be off a day. So this really didn't hit. You know, and all the rules didn't really come down until the 15th of March, right around there. So people were still going into work. You know, there was still activity. Really not till probably March 20th is where, so you had 10 days in there. So the next month is where we'll really see it. I would expect probably, this was probably the first month that I've seen the commercial below the residential as far as the percentage. Probably 48% of our sales were commercial and 52% was residential. And usually residential was a little below the commercial. So, and I expect there to be a bigger impact next month on the commercial. That being said, with summer coming, people at home, the residential is going to go up because people are at home. But
Right. So what kind of percentage percentage do you feel that the water authority lost as far as residential business water usage? Like 3%?
I'd say right now, I'd say per month, I'd say it was a little above I'd say between 3 and 5. Does that sound about right to you, Michelle? Is she with us?
She is, but she doesn't. I'm telling her we can hear her.
Oh, okay.
There she is.
So I would say 3% commercial loss, water usage.
Thank you.
No, that was in this abbreviated bill, this 20-day bill. I think it'll be a little higher next bill.
Yeah, but that gives me an idea at least right now for 1 month.
Yeah. And
Okay.
we read on
Thank
we read on the 10th, so it's going to be a
Okay.
full month. Bond requisitions?
All right, can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, good. Okay, let's start with requisition number 7, which was for the March 16th meeting. This is for the 2019 capital projects fund account. The amount of the requisition is $64,847.94. And that the board authorize submission of requisition number 7.
I move to approve. This is Gary.
I'll second it.
Now, all in favor?
Aye.
Get the name?
Okay, the second requisition would be requisition number 8. That's for this month's meeting. Again, this is for the 2019 capital projects fund account. The amount is $180,854.27. And I also recommend that the board authorize submission of requisition number 8. So moved.
Second, this is Sherry.
All in favor?
Sherry.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
Before we go to the chairman for the contract, could I go to new business?
Who's it? Who is it?
It's Jimmy, isn't it?
Yeah, this is Jim. Can I go to new business first?
Yeah.
Okay, Reltec rents our old building. It rents $4,500 a month. Reltec was closed down on March 15th. They have not been in there. They've called me. Once again, they're afraid of reopening. I sent them all the information for the small business loan, the PPP and all that. I sent it to them because, I don't know, Al's a little up in years, and I don't think he was real aware of what was going on. But anyways, he's looking for a rent reduction for April and May. He paid his March, but there's nobody in there. It's definitely closed. He's looking to help from us. He's worried he might not be able to reopen. I told him I'd bring it to your attention. He did get back to me and said thanks for the info on the small business, the PPP and all that. He did apply for it. He does. I have not talked to him. I don't really have a number to get a hold of him because he's not down there. I do have an email. I sent him an email. He sent me Friday saying everything was in, but he hasn't heard anything. I emailed him today. I didn't hear back because if he did get that loan, rent is included in that small business loan. If he didn't, he's looking for some relief from the authority. I said, well, I got to bring this to the board. I can't. I can't
just filed. It could take 2 to 3 more weeks till even would even hear anything.
Would it make more sense to, if we're going to consider lowering his rent, to just do it month by month? Because we don't know when everything's going to be opened up, and I don't know exactly what Reltec does, but maybe they're going to be able to open their doors here soon.
I agree with that Paul. I think if we're going to do anything, you decide on a month-by-month basis what you're going to do. I think that makes perfect sense.
Okay, so the April bill is due $4,500. I could go back to him and say, one of the things I'm looking at is the utilities. We don't have any operations down there at all. And I made a point to him when he first contacted me. I said, please shut everything off if you're not there. Hopefully they did. If anything, if we want to give them a break on the rent, I don't have a problem with that. This is a good tenant. Believe me, they're a good tenant. I've never had a problem at all.
Is there any expense to us with that building? I don't know.
We pay, in the original lease agreement, we pay all of the utilities. Because that was prior to switching over to Westmoreland, so we were pumping out of there.
As you say, we have a pump there, yeah.
Yeah, but they were in there prior to us signing with Westmoreland, where we were running all the pumps. And, there's not separate meters on the building. Everything runs through one meter.
Yeah, you'd be getting nailed with the high bill.
Well, yeah, I mean, the utility bill then just for electric alone was probably around $12,000 a month.
Oh, geez.
I agree. I could even make a motion that, if you guys are okay with going on a month-to-month basis to see where things go. This way you're not just eliminating it down to this month and next month. Maybe it might need to go a little longer. And
I agree with that. I'm fine with the month-to-month. Do we want to vacate his payment for this month? Now, we've been down there a lot doing some work, cleaning up. Nobody's there. There's nobody. I could just hold him responsible for the utilities because I have no idea. The problem is there's still that large demand that we have down there that Duquesne Light charges you for a demand.
Just for standby, yeah.
Right. Now I think the bills that have been averaging around $1,400 a month for the electric.
Well, that's still a heck of a decrease if we just hit them ask them for the 1,400 versus the 4,500.
I agree. I can go back to them and say, look, they're willing to vacate their rent for this month, but you're going to be responsible for the utilities. Hopefully you shut everything off. I don't know what he did.
Tell her don't text them.
I'm good with that if everybody else is.
Yeah. Yeah, Aaron, I like that idea, Paul. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, they can cover the utilities. That helps them out as a business side, and then we don't have the expenses that we have to deal with. We lost a little bit of revenue. We're being
they're a long-term tenant too, right?
They're a good tenant. I think
they just upped their 5-year lease.
Yeah.
The other question, Jim.
Yeah.
For all the electric, is it just the $1,400 for electric only, or is that for all the utilities?
That was in the last month or so. That was just electric.
What would all the utilities run for a month?
You know what? The gas is going to pretty much drop down to nothing here in the next couple months. I don't think I think with that warehouse closed next door, if he turned his heat down, it shouldn't be that much. I would guess about 180 to 200 if he turned it down.
Okay.
And the main office, the two buildings, the main office, the gas is not a big issue. The electric is the big issue.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we need a motion for this?
I think we should.
I'll make a motion.
Tom?
I'll make a motion that we waive his rent except for utility costs
For April.
for April.
I second.
Mm-hmm. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And one last thing in new business, which
Jimmy,
isn't.
wait, hold on one second. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
can you do that and even have a backup clause that if he does get that money from for the small business loans, that it would revert back
Yes.
to you so that you actually aren't losing any money?
Yes, I'll make sure.
That way, if he gets it, you've already covered yourself.
Correct.
Right.
Good idea. I'll make sure of that.
Okay. All right.
So would that need to be included in the motion? Is it?
Yeah, we better include that in the motion, just for safety.
I'll amend the motion.
I'll second.
Motion to.
I'll second.
And again, Bruce, do we need to do any legalese with any kind of letter or agreement on that or not?
No, what I would do is I would document what Jimmy said vis-a-vis a writing from Jim to them and get them to sign off with a date consented to.
Okay, I can do that. I'll have it to him tomorrow. I'll email it to him, and I'm sure he'll sign it right away. We need a vote. Did we vote on it?
A motion amended, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we get another second?
I'll second it. This is Gary.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, and the last thing, I know you'll notice on the recognitions, we've been working with census pretty diligently here. We've had quite a few of the MXUs come in. We do have two individuals, and purportedly one of our individuals will be back, so we'll have 3 people putting them in, moving pretty rapidly on those. So you'll see some high requisitions coming in for those, and that's for the MXUs. I'll have a count for the next meeting on what we have left, but we've purchased 1,700 of them. We had 33 roughly, so just want to make sure that everybody knows why these requisitions are up a little higher. We are moving on. They started the sending the material for the base stations. That's going to move fairly quickly. We did accept some deliveries last week. So we'll see that, and hopefully in the next 4 or 5 months that we can get that system up and running. And that's all I have.
Okay.
Okay, the last item then is the employee contract negotiation that I asked Jim to put into the packet. Sorry about that. Did everybody have a chance to look that over?
Yeah. Yeah.
Questions?
Yeah. Paul, this is Gary. I have something that I wanted to bring up. I think it's rather of importance. I'll ask this initially to you. From a point of order standpoint, couple thoughts. From a point of order standpoint, this is different. Many operations we've had in the authority in the past. And there was a document in our packet here on a labor document, but it doesn't seem to be presented here by the Labor Negotiations Committee. It seemed to have come somehow in this packet. So who drafted this? Where did it come from? And then secondly, Bruce, from a point of order standpoint, I'd be interested with you, Solicitor, how does this have a document on the didn't come from the Labor Relations Committee? So, Paul.
Well, I don't know that there's.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You finished?
Yes.
Okay. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I saw the document, and I can tell you right now, if it's being proposed, it's up to you guys to decide whether or not you're going to vote for it or not vote for it. I know Paul's been going back. I believe he's gone back and forth with the union, and I think this is the culmination of those discussions back and forth. That's what I understand.
So I'll help there. So really what's in this document is, first of all, let me preface this by saying this negotiation has been going on for well over a year now. And the board as a whole hasn't really been updated, didn't know what was going on. Everything in this is, I didn't go back and forth with the union personally. This was stuff that was just on the table, everything that we discussed. I listened and I took notes. We need to make some kind of movement here. Something has to happen. We can't just keep sitting on this and not making a move. So what I did is I had this put together based on the information that I gathered from the table, and I wanted to bring it to the board so we could discuss it and possibly put it up for a vote. That's how this came about.
Okay, so Paul, this came from you?
Yeah.
You drafted this document?
No, I helped them with it.
But, yeah. I didn't type it.
So Bruce, you worked with Paul that this document was drafted.
That's correct.
Okay. Anybody else?
If you had asked, just so you know, if you had asked me to draft something, Gary, I would have done it too.
Well, I guess I'm trying to understand why, and believe me, I'm going to start being quiet here because I think some members from the Labor Negotiations Committee need to say something. I just find it interesting that we're looking at a document that wasn't presented by that committee.
Noted.
Okay, I'd like to make a couple statements on this. I don't think we can afford 3.25, 3.50, 3.50, 3.50 when the national average is under 2%. I don't understand where we're coming up with these figures. And then to make it retroactive back to 4/1/19 is huge. I don't think we can afford it. I think we should probably table this until we see where the government's going to go, how much money we're going to lose. I would actually make a motion to table till September.
I'd like to say something. Paul, may I say something?
Yeah, free talk.
Let's see. Okay, you're talking about this increase in pay, but Paul's also put in that they can start paying now for their health care more, and then new hirees take 12%, and he saved on what is a really good thing, is he saved on, like when you turn 65, you can either get your health care for 2 years or take the buyout. That's a really, really, really good thing. That really is. So we might be paying more, but they're paying in for their health care that we don't have to pay all that for health care. Are you understanding me?
Yeah.
Betsy, they were already paying into their health care.
How much?
Okay? 9%.
Huh?
Right? 9%.
Okay, and then it's going to go up.
So it goes up gradually. I agree, but I'm just saying it's not that we're going from 0 to 10% or 9, 10, 11%. Okay? So it's really minuscule on the healthcare side.
Oh, I understand what you're saying, but do they go up every year, paying more for their health care now?
No, it had been 9%. It was going to go, and it would go up to 11, 12%, right? 12%.
And then it would be 12% across the, and that's saving money.
It'll take you 30 years to see the savings.
That's not true. It absolutely not.
What we get, our company pays for health care, and what we pay, it's an awful lot of money the company has to pay. And I know the water authority has good benefits. And they're not cheap.
Right. See, the other thing you need to look at too when it comes to the healthcare part and the pension part is this year you have 7 utility workers and 1 cleric all in the same union that are eligible to retire. 2020 you've got 2 more. In 2021 you have another one, and then 2023 you have 1 more. So you have 8, 9, 10, 11 people in the union that are eligible to retire. Now, if those people do in fact retire, and you bring in people to replace them, that's 3/4 of the current staff that just turned over that will all be at new higher rate. The full 12% healthcare. And not contributing, us not having contributed to the pension for them because it would be a 257B.
And that's for 5 years too, right?
Right. 4.
Instead of the 3 years?
Oh yeah, they don't get a max salary for 5
5 years.
Whereas right now they get max salary in 3 years.
Right. Well, you know, I've looked at the information here, and honestly, I think this has been sitting too long. It hasn't gotten anywhere, and I think it's a fair contract for all parties involved. So I would like to make a motion to approve this.
I second it.
All in favor?
I have a couple more questions before we vote, please.
Oh, okay.
Point of order, please. I have a couple more questions, please, before we vote. This is Gary. Can I ask those questions, please?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I agree that we need to make progress on this negotiation contract. And we have been working for over a year that we theoretically had an agreement at one time.
No, you didn't.
On topical areas. Is there too much feedback here that you can't hear me?
No, I can hear you.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
There's a lot of feedback coming through. I will say that.
Yeah, I can tell the feedback. Here's my point. We had a document at one time that was very close to being approved by the union. And it was rejected. But there was some content in that document that was agreed to, such as the PTO days and how that would be. It's not in this document. What happened to those items that were agreed to between the committee and the union negotiations committee? What happened to those items? I'll take the silence, meaning it's not here.
Well, if you would have waited a second, I had to take my computer off mute. On the third page, Article 3, fringe benefits is PTO.
Is this the same content?
Yes.
That we agreed to? That's probably a bad example. Because I don't have the other contract in front of me.
Well, one of the items that was agreed was the $250 for the health care. That was agreed by the union about 6 months ago, but I don't see that in there.
What was that, Jimmy? I know we have some issues that were not in here. Do you have an example?
Well, the $250 for anyone not taking the health insurance was agreed to by the union probably 6 months ago. Is that not correct? To the committee, is that not correct?
No, it's not.
I don't know.
Sherry, you're shaking your head. You weren't there.
No, but you know what? I do know what was agreed to, and that wasn't it.
Yeah,
I'm pulling my file right now.
If that's for whatever it's worth to you, Dave.
I believe that was agreed to.
that's what I thought.
If that was agreed to 6 months ago, well, I just put in here what I have for my notes.
Let me take another example, if you'll bear with me. Hold on. The 3.25 and 7.5 increase is a new item that was not on an old negotiation. Where did that come from?
What was? Say that. What was?
The rate increases of 3.25 and 3.50, those are new items. Where did they come from? The old negotiation percentages were not that high. Where did they come from?
Yeah, that came from me. That's because the rate negotiation is actually where this was falling flat on its face. We have an opportunity to gain a full 2-tier contract, a pension, and increased And, well, I said the two-tier. The union began at 5%. I think maybe, and we were at 2 and 2.5%. And I'll be honest with you, I took a happy medium. Pretty sure that's a number that they would agree to, that they would be happy with that because we're getting so much back in return. And I know, I can tell you now that Public Works is at 3%.
Not agreed on yet.
What is the Public Works pay rate versus ours? Anybody know that? I don't know if anybody knows that or not.
Everybody used to.
This is Tom, and I'm just looking at I have the file that goes back to our original discussions when we first met with the union. There's a document that was produced April 17th that was marked as a tentative agreement, where those employees who choose not to be covered under the MMA group policy use their spouse's health and use their spouse's insurance shall be entitled to a payment of $250 per month.
Per month?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Because they're going under their spouse's covered.
Well,
And Tom, when you got up, I said that I agreed. We agreed to that.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
Bruce, I believe that and the funeral leave have been agreed on for months. Is that not correct?
We have
Yeah, and I thought that, has the funeral leave changed at all?
No. I didn't see it in this. I think that and the 250 was agreed on months ago.
Do we have an agreement with the unions if we pass this, that they're going to accept it? Has this been given to them to look at?
No.
But you want us to vote on a contract that we don't know if they're going to go through?
Right, they might shoot it down, but I don't think they will.
I have a question. Okay? I don't understand. If you don't take our health care, the municipal health care, that we have to pay you $250 a month?
We don't have to, but a lot of them are doing
I've
that.
never heard of that.
My company does that, actually.
Well, I
If
don't.
I use my spouse's instead of theirs, I get a stipend.
The borough does it as well.
That's so does the school district, Betsy.
That's ridiculous.
It saves the company money, because they're not paying for your health care.
That's right. It saves them a lot of money.
It saves a lot of money.
Okay.
And here, I just wanted to touch
What
on...
about adding that?
Huh?
What about adding it, he said?
Having what?
I think it's redundant. I think... Don't add anything.
Okay.
Well,
Just as a point of the percentages. So just so everybody understands, the difference between a 2% and a 3.5% is 40 cents.
per hour.
Based on, per hour,
And
based on,
do you know what the pension obligation to that is?
well, the pension
Future.
obligation is going to start declining. As these people start retiring and we start bringing in the second tier of employees, we won't have a pension obligation with them. And of the 15 utility workers that we have now, before this contract even expires, there's a good chance 11 of them will be retired.
But you're going retroactive plus the 3.5%.
Yep.
So you're talking 7.25%, and the pension obligation on that to them?
I think this is what it's going to take to get the two-tier.
I really need an explanation on how, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is I was on this committee, and I'm really confused on how this switch from this pension plan to where you're paying them 8% for a 457 is a savings when you're also going to pay. It's a soft close. It is not a hard close. If you go to a hard close where the individuals are locked into the current pension, they stop right there, they earn no more, that's where your savings are. Savings are not in soft closes because your obligations still exist and continue to multiply as the contract goes on. Now, any new employee is not going to be eligible for a pension for 10 years at the earliest, and that would be 25%. 20 years would be 50%, 30 years at max. I really don't see, I wish you could give me some numbers how that's a savings, Paul. You keep saying it's a savings. I need some numbers since I'm on this committee, and I have to budget this.
All right, I can get numbers together.
I think that's important. I think everybody has to know what the numbers are.
This is Gary.
I'd probably be able to have numbers if I didn't get stonewalled every time I asked for information.
You
How
never
about let's
asked.
start right there?
You have a contract.
I've got to ask for everything, and then I got to call an accountant, then I got to call the actuary. Let's not pretend.
I'm not pretending anything. I'm just saying, when did you ever call me and ask? Did you ever make a phone call to me and ask?
Well, no, because every time I call
You've
you
never
about
called.
anything,
You've never
you
called.
stories, Jim.
Let's be honest. You've never called. Never.
Not about this. Not
About
this.
anything. You've never called me about anything.
I've never called you about the pension.
Anything.
You're lying through your teeth right now.
What did you call me for? What did you call me for?
I called you very specifically and asked you about the pension. And the first time we talked, you said, I've never paid a penny more than the MMO. That was while me, you, and Bruce were sitting having a drink. And then the second time I talked to you, you said, well, I pay 2% more because Jim Hunter underfunded it.
No, John Caper. John Caper.
Yeah, John Caper. And I said, why are you paying 20% this year? I don't know. I'll have to get back to you. You never did.
I sent you.
We never got into those
I sent you.
what you said.
I sent you what the board approved at 20%. It was in the November.
But, well, according to you, Jim, we never had that conversation.
I sent it to you.
You said we never had a conversation. So what is it? Did we or didn't?
I got confused if you emailed me or texted me.
And we talked on the telephone.
We might have talked once.
All right, so we talked once then.
That's about it. I just think we have a committee, and you're bypassing this committee, and you don't even have numbers for me to understand how I'm going to budget this.
Not real hard.
Which is raise rates.
Can I make an amendment? Can I make an amendment to the motion to follow up with Dave McGill made? This is Gary. There seems to be a discussion on the financial impact of what this contract detail has. It seems to have some value for us as a municipal authority for the long term, especially for new hires, but on the short term side, for the existing employees until they retire. With this cost increase, the impact on the pension, we have not been made available the financial impact. Is it possible to delay a vote as a motion for 1 month so we can see the financial impact and vote on this in May? That's my motion.
I'll second.
Don't we have to do something about the original motion, the second that come up earlier?
I need one to amend it.
Well, you have to vote on the motion to table.
Okay.
If the motion to table passes, then it's off till May. If it fails, then the original motion is back up again to pass.
So what's the motion right now?
Look, I think the motion. I think the motion is to table it until May.
No.
Wasn't the original? What was the motion?
This is a motion to table this till May.
I vote no to table.
No.
No.
All right.
I think we should talk about this, figure this out. We need to figure this out. However, whoever, whatever, needs to come to an end. We got to take this thing head on here because we're continuing to drag this out. there's a lot of things I'd like to talk about. We don't have enough time in the day. If we do have all these employees that are eligible to retire as time continues on, we have to have a plan for that. We're going to continue to have to owe them money no matter how this works out. But you're going to have new hires that you're going to need to bring in eventually here so that they can be brought up to speed to keep up with the other old timers that are going to be close to retiring as well. So you got to come to some resolution. More than 2 cents, maybe it's 3 cents.
Okay, but if we're putting more money into the pension plan, why do we need to do that? There's plenty of money there for this contract to pass. If the pension fund doesn't get more than what is expected of it by law.
Well, there's by law, and then there's adequacy from an actuarial standpoint. Two different things.
Didn't Paul check that out, I believe? Paul?
Say that again. What was the question?
I made the comment, Paul. I was making the comment that there's a difference between having a fully funded pension and having a pension that is funded to the minimum required by law. Okay, and that gap can be big. So there is a difference. So she was talking about the fact that the pension is adequately funded. Depends on what your definition is of adequately funded is. It's not 100% funded, but yes, we have been catching up on what we were underfunding in the past years.
Well, it's my understanding we're overfunded now.
I think we're very well funded right now. As a matter of fact, the state mean is right around 72%. And even with the stock market decline, we're still at 88%, which actually puts us in a very high tier percentage-wise of how we're funded. It's in good shape. I think we're good. I don't think it needs any extra money at this point. And that's where you can recoup money now, put that back into operation.
You did hear me say that it's going to go to $717,000 next year, correct?
Loud and clear.
So Paul, this is Gary. One other question, if you don't mind. I know we've been really talking about this for a while. In order to pick up these costs on the short-term side, especially for the existing employees until they retire, and we don't have the financial numbers yet, so we don't really know the impact to the budget. Do you see an increase possibly this year to help meet our fiscal responsibility?
Rates?
Yeah, rates for water and sewer to our customers.
If they go up a little bit, I'm actually personally, I'm okay with that. It's not going to be anything horrendous. And we've got to get some new hires in here too.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of stuff here that needs to be taken care of.
Right.
And we've got to roll in some new hires because our average age here, I'm 46, and I think there's only 2 guys on the authority younger than me.
Right. Well,
just can't go run into that without knowing what the cost is going to be.
Yeah.
Because we don't know where we're going to be at in 30 days from now. We got to wait till the country gets back to work to see where we're going to be at.
I just think it's a different world these days with the coronavirus and businesses shut down, and some people work 20 million people unemployed in the United States. Some people are living day, let alone paycheck to paycheck. And just be aware of that, where the world is today. And for us to make a decision without having any detail on the financial impact, I believe it's a little premature. But I think I made my point more than enough.
Sure, we've done this for over a year. Yeah, why didn't it pass a year ago?
Well, they kept on putting it off.
Why?
They'd walk away from the table.
Why? Who walked away from the table?
There's a lot of theories why, but I don't know why.
We never walked away.
Right now.
Just so everyone knows, we never walked away. They did. The union.
Several times. Several
I
times.
don't think there's any fault of the board. I don't think there's the board's to blame for walking away from anything. And we all know that and agree on that. You know, the fact of the matter is that there certainly hasn't been any progress. And we know that there's been a lot of struggle with agreements. I was sitting at the table when we talked about this back in April, June, whatever. When, you know, you guys had a full agreement.
That's clear while the conversation's going on, giving them points.
Hey, Bruce.
That turned around and never mind.
Tom, do you have the document that they turned down?
The float?
No, the one that we offered them last contract, and they turned it down. And when we
June
left
21st.
Hang with me here.
just so everyone understands what they turned down.
Well, while he's looking for that, can I ask a question? Hey, Paul.
Yes. Oh, you talking to me or? Oh, yeah.
While he's looking for that, may I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm new at this, and you went to the union, and the union turned it down, and blah, blah, blah. Well, why don't we present this to the union and then see what they don't like and go from there?
That's kind of what I want to do.
Okay, well, that's what, I mean, trust me, I have family that runs unions, and present it to them, and then that's where you have your, okay, well, they don't want this, okay, well, let's negotiate this. But until they have a piece of paper in their hand, we don't know.
We did that, they turned it down last time.
Tom, could you read off what they turned down? I think it's important the board knows. They say they're not getting information. Could you read off the full float that we gave to them and they turned it down?
I don't know.
Tom?
He's on mute. Maybe he can't hear you.
He probably hears you, he just can't talk.
I said, I'm looking through my file right now.
Okay, well, like I said, while he's looking for that, okay, they turned all that stuff down, so bring them a new contract and see what they don't like on that. Or they might like it. Who knows, unless you show it to them.
All right, well,
I don't know.
Here, I'll give you a synopsis of what they turned down. We offered them 3%, 3%, 3%, 3%, 3% retro, 3% every year after. We offered them $77,000, and someone correct me if it's wrong, I don't have it in front of me. 2 years paid health insurance when they retire, their Medicare and their prescription D paid for 2 years, or they didn't want that. They wanted the bonus of $7,000 or $7,200, and I think that's in Paul's float. We offered them that. We offered the same with the funeral leave that's in Paul's float. We did offer, and it was agreed already upon, was the $250 for any individual that doesn't take our insurance.
Okay.
And
What did they like?
we did not have any change in the pension on there. We left the pension as was for all new hires and everybody in it.
Well,
They didn't like the raise.
as Gary says, you know, this is a different world and we're changing, and yes, we are. It's not going to be like we're going to hand you everything in the kitchen sink anymore. Companies can't afford to do that.
And this,
Yeah, look close, Betsy. The one I have says 2.5%, but that's dated June 21st, I think. That's the copy I have.
right,
I'm gonna need another room in my house for all the stuff from the big board meetings.
right, and so that's what this document is. You know, as Jim just said, it was all a lot of, everything in here is what we agreed on, except the money was the big one. I think they were at 4 or 4.5%.
They started out, I do have that in front of me, Paul. Okay? Initially, their initial demand was 55555. Okay? Their last demand was 3.5. Okay?
Well, it's different now, so let's try.
So I just put in the happy medium. That's what it was just a happy medium. I think it's a big deal to get a 2-tier started. I think that's huge. You usually can't get a union to do that. And if this goes too much longer, I think we're going to lose all that. And I really didn't want to lose all that.
You're not benefiting that much from the second tier right now, the way the wages are.
Bruce, what would we have done on council to get a 2-tier?
I don't know.
It's really not
Well,
a two.
I know you give up, you do, we all know that that's significant.
It is very significant. It's all I'm saying.
Just so you know, it's not 2-tier. We have a 3-year probation period now. It's an extension by 2 years is what it is. It's not a 2-tier and then they go right to the existing rate. It's really not the design of a 2-tier system. What we're doing is extending the probationary by 2 years. That's not a 2-tier
And at day
system.
one, their contribution to healthcare, day one, starts at 12%.
Correct.
And they won't have a pension.
And they don't.
But we're paying
So
8.
that is a
We're
big
going to pay 8.
difference.
We're going to pay 8% to them every year.
I was going to say, you have to realize that there won't be a pension, but our contribution's still going to be up to 8% of their wage under the defined contribution plan.
Up to
Right now it's 100%.
Well, it's a pension plan versus a defined contribution plan. They're apples and oranges.
But you're still paying every existing employee. It's a soft freeze. It's not a hard freeze. I thought we took the pension off of the table with them and said we'll just keep paying it. We have guys now that have a 457 and they're borrowing from it, paying penalties. If no one's going to touch the pension for 10 years, or that's at 25%, or 20 years, there's no, you're going to have your minimum obligation, and according to the age requirement, I'm sure half of us might, and me included, might not even be around.
What was that? What was that?
I can't understand a word, Tom. It's vague.
Okay. What I said is,
Tom, I still can't.
I don't know why.
You sound like you're in the witness protection program.
It's such a video on, so we don't know who you are.
Can't understand.
I haven't had any issues. Still can't hear me?
No.
Okay.
All right. No good talk.
That was cool.
That was crazy.
How do I do that?
Oh, well.
Tom, try again. No.
Battery might be dying.
No.
Huh?
Sounds like a haunted house.
No, maybe it is. That's better. No. You mean now?
Tom, put it on mute once and come back. Try again. Mute it and then come back.
You're on mute.
How about that now?
Yeah. No good. Good.
No. This is on the right left.
I'm going to check his temperature.
Anybody have more input? Anybody
Are
else?
we voting or what? What are we doing?
I believe you're in the midst of taking a vote, so I don't know where it's at. Does Barb have it?
The motion was to table this until April, and there was a second.
To May. To
So
May.
now we're voting on it.
There was a first and a second.
I think it went to May.
Yeah, May.
It's April now.
This, Jerry, just, if we have some financial numbers on the impact of this on the short term for the 2020 budget, that would have maybe some value for all the board members. And then secondly, maybe that float that we had late last year that we thought was pretty close with our committee and their committee on the union side, that might be an interesting document to compare the differences.
Shouldn't we be 1% off? If it's, well, I'm sorry, it's 3 1/4, not 350 for the last year, but, all right, I gotta take that off. That's gonna be crazy.
Good idea though, Scott.
You know, you never know what you're taking in online. So, if we're basing our numbers on the 3 1/4% for what we've already budgeted for, right? Because we budgeted going retroactive to 2.5%. Does that sound right?
Yes, we budgeted 2.5 retro, and then we budgeted 2.5 this year also.
So there should be somewhere around, quote, 4, 5, 6 grand, something like that. Difference. That sounds close. Might be high. Maybe I'm 4. You know, I'm trying to go off of what I can dig up based on all my stuff. But if there's somewhere around a 4 grand difference, that's.
Are you talking per employee, or what are you talking?
Between the two different rates. Between 3 1/4, I'm figuring somewhere around $35,000 to $40,000 a year. Now that's for everybody, based off of what 18-ish employees. Not, you know, that discounts us board members. The 32 employees minus us board members and management. Somewhere around 3 1/4%, should be around 35, 36, $37,000 a year. We're already budgeting at 2.5%, which is around what, 27, 28, 30,000, $30,000. That I see. Anybody have any rebuttal to that? I'm asking. Curious.
Well, we can ask. I said next month he's supposed to have the facts for sure.
So the difference between a 2.5 and a 3.25 is $416 per employee per year. It goes from a 60 cents an hour, 67 cents an hour to 87 cents an hour. That's the difference between a 2.5 and a 3.25. So if you do $416 times
$74.88.
Thank you.
That's by 18 employees. If I'm right with the 18 employees.
Plus the pension impact.
74.88. I don't have that.
What?
That I don't have either.
All right, got quiet.
This year we paid, what, $530,000 on a MMO, and that's 4% more. All right? 5.6. Oh, I ripped my mask. I can't leave the house.
Okay, what do we do?
They're talking numbers here, Jimmy.
Oh,
Yeah.
We need to know. We need to know the difference of what it's going to cost us on the MMO, the pension obligation, between 3.5 and what? Or what it would be at 3.5. Because we know, or we should have, it's already budgeted at 2.5. So it's 1%, difference of what this contract says versus the one that was, speculated in the past and turned down.
Can you hear me better now?
All right.
Can I ask one question?
Welcome back.
Jimmy.
Yes.
Did you say that you offered them 3% and you thought they agreed to that? So this is really only changing
No.
0.25 and 0.5?
No, they turned it down. But I'm going to give you some numbers. They turned it 3% down. Here's the numbers. 3.25%. 2019. Utility worker. I have them all figured out here. And I did run the extension too, so everybody knows. A first year employee with the 2 extra years. First 7 to 12 months is $25.92. 13 to 18 months is $27.19. 19 to 24 months. So you're 2 years in, and the new employee's making $28.47. 25 through 30 months, they make $29.76. After 31 months, they make $31.06 an hour, which is the equivalent that an employee makes right now, utility, minus 2 cents, okay? They're making $31.08 right now. Within 3 years, they're at $31.06. Thereafter, they'd go to $32.34. That would be the new rate. Now, at 3.225, it goes to $33.39 a year, which means their starting salary for a utility worker is going to be $69,453.38, which is a raise of $1,093. Year 2 at 3.5, their salary would be $71,884.25, which is an increase of $1,215.43 per year. Year 3, their salary would be, this is a backhoe, I'm sorry. The year 3, the salary is $74,420, which is an increase of $1,257.97. After the 4th year, the backhoe operator's base salary is $77,004.21, which is another increase of $1,300. Utility, it goes to $66,741, which is an increase of $1,050. Year 2, $69,083.50, which is an increase of $1,168. Year 3, $71,501.49, an increase of $1,208. Year 4, $74,004.04, which is an increase of $1,251.28. So over the term of the contract for a utility worker, the increase is going to be $4,700, roughly, with a few pennies.
But we originally agreed that, I don't want to say agreed, we originally offered that we would give them 0.5% less than that.
We offered them 3% plus, we offered them $6,500 for paying their medical. We offered them that we would keep their 10%, we would change it to 10% on their health care. They agreed on that. They agreed on the past due invoices. They agreed on the $250 a month. They agreed on the heat index, or for the payment. They agreed on the heat index. They agreed that we drop the beepers from 4 to 3 during the winter months. They agreed on the funeral leave. And that's what they agreed on. So that's the base salary. So here's your employee costs after 2019 with these raises, if anyone's interested. First year, Utility worker, the cost is $117,566.62. Second year, $121,351.13. Third year, $125,281.93. Fourth year, $129,364.95. And that's based on 3% increases in workers' comp and miscellaneous. Obviously, it'll be higher now because the pension cost, but MMO is going up approximately $250,000 next year. And as these people retire and as you increase their wages, that is going to go up more. The office, I didn't even go to the clerical. The starting clericals, the girls in the office right now after this raise, $57,255. Second year, $59,258. Third year, $61,333. Fourth year, $63,479.66. That's not including. So their cost is going to be $103,734, $106,718, $110,130, $113,675. Just so everyone has some numbers.
Yeah, as you were rolling through that, I was comparing it against the spreadsheet that you guys presented to us back in June.
And one other thing in this offer, Paul, the 5 days medical, 0 accident following disability. Right now they have to use everything except for 5 PTO and 5 vacation, and that's based on our policy holder who we have our insurance through. So I guarantee that's going to change, and these costs are going to go up when you're going 0 for 5 days for medical and 0 for accident. Our costs are going to go up there. Those were recommendations, Paul, or Tom, I'm sure you know about that in the insurance industry. That was recommended by the policy that we bought.
By the disability carrier.
Correct. Absolutely. So there's quite a bit of inherent cost in here that you have to, I think you should look over. I mean, this is substantial. But it's up to you guys. You do what you want, and I'll budget accordingly. And I can email this sheet to everyone if they would like it.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right, are we going to proceed? So we have to wrap up. There was a motion on the table to May. We have to vote one way or the other on that.
Yeah, take a roll call, Lieutenant, please.
Sure. Okay, so this is the motion to table till May. Paul Clary,
No.
Betsy Desmond,
No.
Dave McGill,
Yes.
Tom Pegg,
Yes.
Scott Belts,
No, I'd like to move forward. Yes, sir.
Gary DiLorenzo,
Yes.
Sherry Harris.
No.
All right, the motion fails. We have any?
Now you have the original motion to approve on that's what's on the table.
Motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve.
Second it.
Oh,
Well, since you had a black eye so far, I might as well have my other black eye addressed also. I have another point of order to bring up. This is Gary. Bruce,
we need a roll call.
We know where you're at. We know who you are.
yeah, I'd like to make a point of order observation. Bruce, can you give us an interpretation from a point of order standpoint as a solicitor? Is there any conflict of interest here with the board member having a personal direct benefit to this contract? Basically having a spouse getting a benefit?
No more than Jack Spillman.
I'm not talking about Jack Spillman.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
Bruce, can you give us an interpretation on that, please?
Unmute.
I'm acting as a board member right now.
Bruce, unmute.
Bruce, you're mute. You have to unmute, Bruce.
I'm sorry. That's an interesting question. Let me say to you, I don't know whether you remember Diane Allison.
Right?
But Diane Allison was a councilwoman, and her husband was part of the bargaining unit, and she voted for the collective bargaining contract. We researched that question at the time, and there are cases that say as long as she is not separating that individual out and treating them differently, but rather as a class, she can vote ethically. Whether or not you interpret something into that publicly, that's your business. But from a legal standpoint, ethically, she can vote.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions?
All right. We do a roll call then?
All right, so this is for the roll call
What's the question?
do what? Present this contract?
Yeah.
Okay, Paul Caleri,
Yes.
Betsy Desmond,
Yes.
Dave McGill,
No.
Tom Pegg,
No.
Scott Feltz,
Yes.
Kara DiLorenzo,
No.
Sherry Harris.
Yes.
Can't hear her.
All right, that ends that.
So is the vote 4-3?
Yep.
Okay, now is that an offer?
That's an
Because
offer.
I don't know whether the union has to be made aware of that, Paul.
Yeah, what do we do now? I don't get it to them to see if they want it.
I think you contact their labor group and pose it to them. That's what I would do.
Okay. Then we will need to propose this to them.
Okay, what I'd suggest, the easiest way to do this is because we have a mediator. I can contact the mediator and say, this is what we have to propose, and let him take it back and see if they accept it.
That sounds like a plan. Thank you.
It's not the mediator they used before, is it?
Same one. So email me, Paul, what your final document is, and I'll pass it on to the mediator.
Okay.
Next.
That was the last item. Motion to adjourn.
So how about board member comments, Paul?
Oh, I'm sorry. Board member comments.
Who's first?
I don't know who goes first.
I'm so tired I can't think.
Past my bedtime.
Go ahead, Betsy. You go first.
Okay, I'm in Ward 7, so I'm last, but I'll go first. I just thought this was a good meeting. My first time doing it over the video. And I'm looking forward to next month. And Jimmy,
Yeah.
one more thing. Don't forget to ask about that sign on Northern Pike. What
Yeah,
that
I'll
means.
check with Paul.
Okay, thanks. All right, you're next.
Who's six?
Tim, Scott.
I love it. All right. I commend you guys out there working on the water and sewer right now under the conditions that they're under. You know, it's safer, it's better, it's good. I think Jimmy's been doing a good job with
I agree.
following all the rules, regulations, and precautions. And reading the safety minutes is nice. That they're following up with this stuff. And, I mean, it's hard to take it seriously, but now it's gotten to the point where it's unavoidable. and you never know who you're becoming in contact with that could be a carrier. You know, they're not seeing symptoms. So it's kind of scary in that way. Joe Story's on here. I don't know if he's napping or if he's just staying off the radar. But I'll reach out to him.
I'm here.
Hey, buddy. I got a question for you about a hydrant on by the convention center on Mall Boulevard. They have it covered in black plastic at Mason Drive.
Private.
I haven't got any notifications about it, so I'm curious what the story was.
That's a private
I'll
hydrant.
look into it.
That's
That's what I was just going to say. That's
a
private.
private hydrant. It's Oxford.
That would explain it. So, all right, well, I'll follow up and figure out that. But thank you guys for notifying, the dispatch center, because they, they do send those notifications out to all of us as soon as you guys place something out of service. And, it's critical for us to plan around that in the event of an emergency. Like, we don't have any other planning going on right now with everything else. And other than that, I expressed my feelings to a couple people over the last couple of days. These things are tough. You get something given to you on a Friday. Man, me personally, and I speak for everybody, I'm sure. None of us are sitting around with nothing to do, and it's hard to try to process information and come to a Monday meeting.
Right.
With answers. I don't know if there's a possibility of changing that or not, but, I personally hate the process of, trying to, chase my tail. And that's not to say that I can't get answers, but I'm saying it's hard to reach out to everybody and say, what does this mean? What is this about? What is this? Because this contract's an example of that, but so are other things. There's no time to process, digest, or understand certain things, and it's thrown on your lap, and I got to have an answer for you on Monday evening, whether it's over social media or not. So, other than that, like I said, good job. The guys are doing all right. I hope they're staying busy enough. And just stay safe, and please take precautions, because it's all around us. We just aren't aware of that yet. Who's 5?
Oh, that's me.
That's Paul.
Hey, just everybody be safe out there. That's all I got.
Who's 4?
I'm for. Again, I agree. Everybody stay safe. And that's all I have as comments tonight.
Right.
Hey, this is Gary. Just an observation. We had a virtual meeting tonight. No public input. I'm not even sure there was a public awareness of the agenda items that could participate. They probably had some email opportunities. But from my perspective, I'm disappointed tonight for this reason. A couple reasons. Citizens in Monroeville probably going to be impacted by this. Rents are going to go up. Rents are going to go up to cover these expenses. And I'm disappointed in this board to make a decision on this proposal without understanding the financial impact. Especially the 4 of you that voted for it. Scott, I thought you were saying a comment 2 minutes ago that it's tough to make a decision without having information, but then you decided, I didn't have all the information on the financial side, but I'll still support this. That's just an observation.
Well, here's an observation. You called me and had all the answers. How come you had all the answers?
I never said I had all the answers. I asked you to think about what we were talking about.
Right.
Yeah, I heard a lot of phone calls going around there this week, huh?
A lot of people made a lot of calls.
Isn't that
Just hand it in and see what happens. That's all we're asking. We're not,
right?
But that's all we're asking.
It's gone on long enough.
It's a place to start new.
You done, Gary?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, stay healthy, everyone. Have a great week. Have a great month.
See ya.
Gary signing off.
I'm still here.
No, I said Sherry.
Oh.
He said, have a good one. See ya.
Here, I just muted myself.
Dave?
Just very important that everybody stay safe and I guess keep your face covered because it's out there. Just like Scott said, it's out there. Stay safe. Some of us are still out there. So. But other than that, have a great night, everybody.
You also.
Okay, do I get a turn?
Yeah.
To save your call, Mr. Hunter, I called Paul Ugis. The sign on Northern Pike is stating that they are in complying with the coronavirus regulations.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Betsy, did you hear that?
I did.
So, as we know, that work is for the slide on 48. Also, there was core boring that was completed on Old Ramsey to move forward with some cost estimates to fix that road. And there's going to be some new work to fix the creek along Forbes Road. Begin sometime this spring or summer due to the collapse there on the creek side. And based on some of your comments, a discussion that I had with Mr. Hunter is that maybe, as we did on council and do on council, as contract negotiations are going back and forth, the board is updated as to what is happening. That way you are not hit with everything all at once. And so maybe that would help you guys all out in the future. Other than that, stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. That's all I have.
Bye.
All right, did we get everybody?
We did.
All right, and we get a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, Paul.
Second. I'm sorry, go ahead. Betsy seconded it?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good night.
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 Thanks for using WebEx. Visit our website.